I think deficit is a big thing. I think attaching a deficit to anybody is kind of a negative. It can be insulting, you know. The moment you say someone has a deficit, you're running to some touchy territory.
My name is Robert Johnson. I'm a psychotherapist and entrepreneur who has ADHD. In this film, I interview two highly creative entrepreneurs, Chef Sebastian Carosi and musician Ashton Gray. I want to see if the characteristics of ADHD affects their careers. Does it help them in their work, or does it create problems for them? Now, I'm not identifying if they have ADHD. That's up to them. However, I do want to see if the characteristics of ADHD affects entrepreneurs. I believe most entrepreneurs have this brain chemistry we call ADHD, and it is the very thing that allows them to be successful in their pursuits.
Can't see your time is coming. Spent a long time burning up your soul. Spent a long time running, Billy. Can't see your time is coming. Better kick that horse and get on down the road. Yeah, the law isn't gonna give up on Billy.
I think being organized doesn't necessarily come naturally to me, but I have ways of keeping things in order a lot better than I used to. My method of organizing is probably just being able to see stuff. In other words, a list lets you see what you need to do. Visually, I like to put priorities right in front of me, by the bedside, on the floor, on the way out the door, the keys, by the door, that kind of thing.
I like to say that my organization skills are ADD on top of OCD. And I like my hangers an inch apart in my closet. I like them all to be black. I like the spices all to be lined up in the kitchen. But most of all, the organization for me comes in logistically organizing all these products getting to my door. You have to be married to this right here.
I definitely forget things like paying bills, and maybe I have to think about that. I will forget something as ridiculous as even leaving my guitar behind at a club.
Actually, I have a huge problem with forgetting things, and I don't think that it could be classified as forgotten, but I am almost believing, because it's recalled so easily, that it's stored somewhere, not completely forgotten or completely diminished from the capacity of why I thought about it in the first place. So, yeah, I forget things. I've forgotten to pay bills. I've forgotten to feed my child on time. I've forgotten, I mean, almost every major event that you could think of has been forgotten because of an overrunning thought. You know, and it's not like that it's just gone. It's just that there's other thoughts coming at that time, and their prioritization in my mind has changed. So things move as they are reprioritized by the brain, or my brain in particular.
I don't allow myself to get bored. I basically am always wanting to do something. I always have things on that I want to do.
I call it a problem, but I guess I shouldn't say it's a problem. To me, being in this end of the business, it's probably one of the most exciting, because when I'm bored, I change the menu. When I'm bored with a dish, I just let that dish keep going and going and going, because to me, that means the same stagnant space, the same boring space. I want to liven it up. I want to do things different, you know. I used to write the menu every day. I was able to cope with my boredom in that way. Now I've adopted other ways. I write the menu maybe once a week, maybe once a month, but I take different care in things to suppress the boredom. Now, if somebody's growing these lettuces or these hazelnuts or this blue cheese or the flowers, I'm going to go visit their farm and I'm going to learn everything about what they're doing so that when I get back and the customers are asking me something, I can convey that to them to the utmost.
I think when I was a child, I can remember being bored, but once I started going after things, artistic pursuits, especially music, I was never bored again. I definitely do get excited about what I'm talking about. If I'm really hot on a point or really interested in what I'm saying. I do have people get frustrated with me for interrupting them, but as I said, I think it's still something that needs to be worked on, but I'm much more aware of it now than I used to be.
I noticed really early that my energy level was much higher than a lot of folks around me. You know, when it came to the first time I really saw it and took heed to seeing my energy level being different than anybody else's was when I was in culinary school many years ago. You would have 15 people in the class and they would say, okay, you're making baba ganoush today. Well, they said, you're making baba ganoush today, so I ran out and got 8 eggplants and started to make baba ganoush. But what I failed to realize was that all 15 of us were going to make a batch of baba ganoush. I had already had the eggplants poked on the stove, ready to go. Yeah, you feel a lot, people that, you know, having a higher energy level around people that don't, really, I think they get apprehensive about being around you because you're spinning, you're doing a lot of things, but sometimes when other things get in the way, you create that Tasmanian devil swirl where so many things are happening, nothing's getting done. You know what I mean? And in a kitchen, you can't have that because 5 o'clock means something in a kitchen. The worst for me is the overthought of everything. It's just the overthought of everything. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much it. You waste time overthinking things.
So if you had a 9-to-5 job in the cubicle, how would that go for you?
Either a 45 or a 50 caliber. First of all, I couldn't spend my time in a cubicle. That's why I got into this. And I couldn't spend my time in the chef cubicle either, because the chef cubicle is the kitchen in the restaurant. I spend a lot of time outside of that. Like I said, I'm an average forager. I know my farmers. I go visit their farms. I see what they're feeding to their animals.
I think if I was in a cubicle every day, I would feel mildly oppressed, or I would be looking for ways to get out of it, probably. I would never like the idea of being in a 9-to-5 job where I had a steady schedule. Yeah, I don't think the creative process ever stops for anybody that calls himself creative. I think I have creative thoughts every day, all day.
The level of creativity that you can have being a chef it's endless. You know, it's like that artist that has a canvas. I can't draw for my life, trust me, but being able to express yourself through food, the way you get the food, not only expressing it on the plate, but the way you get the food is also important, and it's a way of expression as well.
I've been in a car accident plenty of times, small ones, larger ones, you know. I would just say I've been about maybe 10 car accidents. That's about, I don't know. How many have you been in? I don't know if like backing up and like bumping your fender against somebody qualifies as a car accident necessarily. I'm not a big fan of driving. When you're in a car, you miss about 70% of the world. Absolutely. So walking around a city, walking around even in Austin, it's going to be a different walk than it would be in New York City, but you're going to notice every little thing going on, and it's much more, your life will be more rewarding if you can be in a city where you don't have to close yourself up and have road rage.
When you don't have a lot, when you left your girl behind cause you couldn't make it round the bend. Hey, you don't have to pretend, cause it's better to flop out on the 2-lane blacktop. Got an interstate buzz and you wanna unwind. Motor on to the other side, yeah, to the other side.
I've owned several luxury vehicles and probably 8 vehicles in the past 10 years, but I don't drive. I tried driving with the stick to keep me busy, and it didn't work. The tap in the foot, the always busy, the always thinking, the continual thought process, sometimes thinking and rethinking things over that you've already thought.
You know, I am definitely in business for myself. I'm president of my own company, so it speaks to me.
I've been in a lot of bands since I basically left college. Ash and the Reckless Crew. I'm trying to think of other band names. Or for an Ash to go with an to go with Ash. Around town. Ash Gray and the something.
This past year, I was able to win the Iron Chef Goes Coastal event and raise $35,000 for the Boys and Girls Club of Clatsop County. Prior to that, I won the best leg of lamb dish in America at the Portland Lamb Jam, put on by the American Lamb Jam. The amount of restaurants that I've opened in the past 25 to 30 years, numbers in the high 60s, 70s, of every different genre and form that you can think of, from a sandwich shop all the way down to a $66 million ski resort that fed 10,000 people a day using local foods. I spend a lot of my time creating organizations that help educate people about our food system gone awry, and that to me is a huge importance. I'm the founder of the New England Farm to Fork Project, which was an eco-gastronomic roving rural supper club and culinary education machine based out of Kennebunkport, Maine. With that, we did product branding, CSA startup. Oh Jesus, Christmas. Muddy Waters, Tribeca, Pickled Fish, Cool Spring Organics, Cool Spring Organic Market, Cafe Indigo, Rappahannock Central. You know, I could possibly have ADHD, and I'm just going to say the hell with it. Yeah, definitely. You pretty much have to in this business. Whether it's clinically diagnosed, I couldn't tell you, but all the signs are there.
I mean, I don't really think I have AAD, but that's bad for me to say because I don't really know what it is.
I'd actually like to say thanks to Bob, because somebody that is picking this topic and running with it is hugely important to me. And I truthfully didn't know how important it was until the first conversation I had with him.
I have some funny audio or some funny video where tomatoes real nicely. And I ask you if you can talk and cut tomatoes at the same time. You say yes.
And I can't.
And then you chop them all to pieces. You mangle them all up. It was a shame because it was a beautiful tomato.
Listen, I had tomatoes cut for 3 days after that.